Let's see how to perform network requests in Xamarin Forms. Here you can see one example of how to implement network service in Xamarin Forms. So for performing network calls, we use HTTP client. But we are going to have some kind of wrapper around it, and that wrapper will call network service, and this will expose its methods through interface. The reason we do this is if we use interface instead of a real implementation, then we can fake network calls in our unit tests. Okay, time to fire up Visual Studio and implement the network service. I'm going to create new blank forms app and call it movies. Okay, the first step is to just update all NuGet packages. Accept. And after we are done with that, let's just quickly run our app to make sure the initial template works. Okay, everything is fine. The app already looks awesome. And now let's create our network service. I'm going to add a new class and call it network service. So as I mentioned before, I need a new private field for HTTP client. Okay, let's resolve this and initialize HTTP client. So if we take a look at what methods HTTP client offers, so it offers method for get, post, put, delete. All of these are asynchronous method for performing network requests. The last thing we need to do before we start implementing our network service is to add newtonsound.json.net package to our solution. The reason we do this is because this package is a great way to serialize and deserialize JSON objects. And as you know, we mostly use JSON these days to transfer our data through network. So let's add this to our project. Okay, right click, manage NuGet packages, and already first recommendation is this package. This is a very popular package, so we are going to add it. Okay, we are going to start with get method, and this method is going to be asynchronous, and also we are going to make it generic, so we can download any kind of data with this method. It's going to be public async method that returns some kind of generic result. I need to resolve task, and I'm going to call it get async. Get async. The method will take one parameter, that is string URI. Okay, based on our parameter, we are going to call HTTP client and get async and pass our parameter. the result of this call we are going to store in a variable. Type is HTTP response message. Let's call it response. Okay, once we have our response, first we are going to read it as string. So string serialized. After we have our string, we need to transform it into our result object. And for that, we will use Newtonsoft JSON. So the actual result is JSON convert dot the serialize object. Type is tResult, and we are going to use this string, and we can just return our result. And now we have our simple but powerful method for retrieving data. I'm not going to implement all the remaining methods, so post, put, delete, but you can find it in the last lecture of this section in the source code.